Okay, it is time for the Week 9 picks. Now, the train has gone off the tracks here these last couple of weeks. 2 losing weeks in a row for me, including an absolute disaster last week. 0-3, lost all 3 of my bets. So now, for the first time all year, we're below 500 on the picks on the season at 12-14. But no time to hang our heads. This is the midway point of the season. Plenty of football left. I've got high hopes for the rest of this season starting this weekend. There are 5 games I'm going to be getting involved in. No more winless weekends for me. I said if I can't win 3 games, I'm going to try 5 games. But no, I just, to tell you the truth, there was more this week that I looked at that I sort of liked than most weeks. I was actually considering another game. It was almost 6 games, but it is going to be 5 games that I'm going to have a play on this week. We're going to go through them. I want to start in Indianapolis where the Miami Dolphins visit the Indianapolis Colts. Miami installed as a 1-point road favorite in this game. 2 teams who are 4-3, both surprise teams, a crucial game for both teams, and I do like the Dolphins here. You know, I've been hesitant to jump on that Dolphins bandwagon this season. Now, obviously, coming into the season, most people, myself included, thought they were going to be the worst team in the league, but they've convinced me. I'm now a believer. This team is really good at the line of scrimmage, an excellent offensive line, and a really good front 7 on defense. Miami runs the ball. They stop the run. Indianapolis, they've been impressive in their own right. Nobody thought Indianapolis was going to be 4-3 at this point, but Indianapolis really struggles to stop the run. And I know Andrew Luck, their rookie quarterback, has been good, but he's also made mistakes throughout the season, as you'd expect from any rookie. I mean, Andrew Luck, it's hard to look at what he's done this year. I think he's having the best year of any rookie, despite all the hype that Robert Griffin III is getting. But we've seen Luck throw a couple of passes to the other team, and in their last game, a win against the Tennessee Titans, there were a couple of dropped interceptions by the Titans there in the fourth quarter. One in particular, Titans linebacker Colin McCarthy dropped an easy pass right in his hands that he would have returned for a touchdown, and Tennessee would have won that game. Did not happen, though. Indianapolis came out with the win. I just think Miami's a little bit of a more solid team here. I think they're a little bit of a better team, and I do like the Dolphins' chances as 1-point favorites on the road in Indianapolis. Next game, the Green Bay Packers at home playing the Arizona Cardinals. Green Bay installed as an 11-point favorite on BETDAQ, and I do like the Packers here. I know the Packers just failed to cover a big number against Jacksonville. I know the Cardinals have already had success as big road underdogs this year. Remember, they beat New England early in the year as 13.5-point underdogs, but the Arizona Cardinals are so bad right now on offense. I mean, that offensive line is an absolute disaster. Don't like what I've seen from John Skelton. Interesting thing, John Skelton, around 400 passing attempts over the last year. I say about because I think it's exactly 4.85 or 4.9, but around 5% of his passes are interceptions. That's the highest interception rate in the league. So John Skelton throws interceptions more often than any quarterback in the league. Arizona does not have a running game. Their offensive line is awful. What they do have is a good defense, and that's the only thing that gave me a little pause here. I know Green Bay's been disappointing on offense this year. 5 times already this season they've scored 24 points or fewer. And the Arizona defense has yet to allow more than 24 points. So, hey, maybe I'm wrong here. If somebody told me right now that Green Bay is going to be held to 20 or 21 points, I would not feel comfortable laying 11 points in this spot. But I still have enough faith in that Green Bay offense. Maybe I'm brainwashed at what I've seen the last couple of years. Still think they're just about to get it going. It's right around the corner. I know we've been saying that all year. And for the most part, it hasn't happened. Now, remember a couple of weeks ago, they did go down to Houston and hang 42 points on a good Texans defense. Anyway, I think Green Bay is going to blow out Arizona at home this week, and I think the Packers are good bets as an 11-point favorite. Next game I want to go to, Baltimore Ravens visiting the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore currently installed as a 3.5-point favorite on BETDAQ, and I do like Cleveland in this game. I know this is a 2-6 team taking on a 5-2 team in Baltimore, but I do not like what I've seen out of the Baltimore Ravens the last couple of weeks. Obviously, I'm not going out on any limb saying that. They were blown out in their last game. This defense, 30th in the league against the run. You never thought you'd say it. Baltimore cannot stop the run. And I heard someone making an argument on TV today say, that Baltimore defense, they're again going to crawl back into the top 10 by the time the season ends. They're going to get it together. I guess I just don't agree with that. Ray Lewis out for the year now. Ladarius Webb, maybe their best cornerback, out for the year. Terrell Suggs, even though he came back in the last game, he's still not the player he once was, obviously. Still not in shape. Still probably not 100% after that Achilles injury. So, just because they wear purple jerseys and black helmets does not mean they're going to be a great defense. And not only have they not been a great defense this year, they have been a bad defense. Now, Cleveland's not a very good offense, but Cleveland is committed to running the football, and I do think they're going to have some success against Baltimore on Sunday, and I think Cleveland's defense is underrated now. Cleveland's defense, when they're healthy, and they're healthy now, they're not as bad as the stats would indicate. I know they're about 20th in the league right now in yards allowed. I think Cleveland, Baltimore 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games, have been a terrible team to back. Cleveland has been a really good team to back, especially when they've been playing winning teams. The Browns have repeatedly, over the last year or more, they've repeatedly outperformed expectations, especially when they've been facing winning teams. The Browns have a winning record against the spread this year, despite the fact they're 2-6. And I think they're a sneaky good play as home underdogs on Sunday. I do like Cleveland plus 3.5 in that game. Next game I want to talk about, out west, the Pirate Bowl. Bucs visiting the Raiders. Oakland installed as a 1-point favorite in this game on BETDAQ. I am on Tampa Bay here. I get why Oakland's a favorite. A big road win last week over Kansas City. Both these teams at 3-4. Not a whole lot of people are still believers in the Tampa Bay Bucs, and that's understandable. But the Oakland Raiders, the Raiders are the Raiders. They were the Raiders last week when they beat Kansas City. They're going to be the Raiders this week when they come home and lose to Tampa Bay. When I say the Raiders are the Raiders, I don't mean they're terrible. I just mean they're an unreliable, undependable team. Just when you count them out, and not that people were counting them out last week against the terrible Chiefs, but look at a couple of games ago when they went on the road to play the Atlanta Falcons and almost beat the last remaining undefeated team in the league. The Raiders can look pretty good. They have some pieces on offense. Carson Palmer can still throw the ball, have an excellent running back in Darren McFadden, an excellent young wide receiver in Denarius Moore. They have a terrible defense. I really like what Tampa has been doing. The Bucs have been getting better and better. Greg Schiano pushing all the right buttons with his team. Just this week, let another guy go. Defensive back Aqib Talib. Remember, before the season, Schiano ran off Brian Price, Kellen Winslow, who led the team in receptions last year. So if your attitude does not match up with what Greg Schiano likes, he will run you off the team, no matter how talented you are. I mean, Aqib Talib is a talented guy. He's in New England now, and he's going to get a lot of playing time up there. But it's worked so far in Tampa. I really like the direction this team is headed in, and their offense especially has been getting better and better as the year has progressed. I think Tampa is an excellent bet as a 1-point underdog to go out on the road and beat Oakland. These two teams, I think the wrong team's favored here. I think in 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to see that these are different teams. Tampa just a better team than the Oakland Raiders, so I think they're a good bet on Sunday. My final bet, the Monday night game. I know I maybe could have waited till our Monday preview that we're going to put on the site for this game, but I figure this is the weekly pick segment, and this is one of my bets this week, so I might as well go with it. Of course, Monday Night Football, we have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans installed as a 3.5-point favorite on BETDAQ, and I like the Saints here. These teams are both disintegrating. It's a matter of which team do you believe is disintegrating more, and I believe the Eagles are further down that road. It's not like I think the Saints are going to be able to turn around their season at 2-5 with a tough schedule remaining. I think the New Orleans Saints are done. However, it's not like they've quit. On offense especially, this Saints team is the same Saints team we've seen over the last couple of years, one of the best offenses in the NFL. Now, I recognize the New Orleans Saints have the worst defense in the entire league. They're allowing 50 more yards per game than any other team in the league. That is incredible. So, hey, I expect Philadelphia to have success here. I expect them to move the ball. I expect them to score some points. I also expect them to turn the ball over a few times. I've watched Philadelphia play throughout the season. We see what this team is. Sure, they have some explosiveness. They have some talent. They are a turnover waiting to happen with a terrible defense. Now, when Andy Reid fired Juan Castillo a couple of weeks ago, I don't think the defensive performance that the Eagles had last week was what he had in mind. They played their worst defensive game of the year last week in Todd Bowles' first game as defensive coordinator. So I'm not sure the players responded very well to Juan Castillo being fired. And this week on the road in New Orleans, if you're going to set up a defense to fail, send them on the road in primetime national TV playing the New Orleans Saints, and that's a pretty good spot to fail. And I do believe, even though Philadelphia is probably going to top 20 points in this game, New Orleans is just going to outscore them. That Eagles defense is not going to be able to slow down this New Orleans offense, and I believe the New Orleans Saints are a good bet at home as 3.5-point favorites on Monday night. There you have it. Those are my 5 games. Hopefully we'll be able to crawl back over 500 this week. Don't like sitting there with a losing record. Miami -1, Green Bay -11, Cleveland +3.5, Tampa Bay +1, and New Orleans -3.5. That's the best I've got for you. I wish you best of luck in whatever you decide to do, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests.